Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Get Reelisms podcast. I am Adam Chase Reddy,
and I am.
Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. I'm proud of both of us that we're here, and it only took us 3.5 hours,
a measly hour and a half,
to get all of our shit together and figured out, which is fine. Honestly, we've had worse audio struggles, and I've improved my game as of recently. Same with Christine. And then, problems ensue, especially when we use programs like Zoom. That should be, let's be honest, in a dumpster fire. I am sorry, but the app has got to go. We got to get a better thing. Calling you out, Zoom. It is what it is. I'm sick of it. I'm tired. I'm tired of you killing us. Whatever. All right, Christine, you're in Shreveport.
I'm in Shreveport, yes.
What's up, dude?
I'll probably be facing unstable internet services, but
honestly, we went through unstable services here, so who knows what happens to my internet as well. We're both just going to be offline in like 3 seconds.
On and off, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's so weird. All right. Well, you're doing a feature in Shreveport, right?
Yeah, I'm prepping for a feature. Yes, a horror film actually called Cabin Girl. So pretty exciting. This time we have a lot of prep time, which is great. It's been just time to scout out potential locations, and lock in schedule concerns and stuff like that. So yeah,
just a typical pre-production stuff.
What's exciting is that next week I'm going to New Orleans to do Arcade Fire.
That's fucking nuts. That's still crazy to me. That's still wild that you're doing that.
I'm very excited.
You were right. Zoe was in that music video. I checked it out.
Yeah, right.
After we talked about it, and yeah, I can fully confirm that is indeed Zoe. And I was like, I just didn't really put 2 and 2 together when I first saw that music video. But that was a while ago.
I didn't just look and be like, oh, that's so, like, we didn't really even know Zoe then, like
no.
Yeah.
But she's such a rad lady, and I did not know that she was in it, and it was so fun. It was awesome seeing it, and it's a good song too. It's a very good song.
Yeah.
You can't really talk much about that probably Arcade Fire shoot. Probably.
No,
right?
I signed an NDA.
Yeah.
So yeah,
makes sense.
But I am excited about it, and they're getting all the things together. And
so wait, you're not shooting the feature till?
I'm actually not. I'm the second on this one. I'm not the first. I was supposed to be the first, but then apparently they've had some bad issues with safety with previous ADs, and so the band actually came in with the specific person they wanted. So
gotcha.
Yeah, so then became second, which is totally fine, because I hope like that means I can learn some stuff from it. It'll be good for me to learn from like a bigger head honcho,
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll be in it and I'll be like, oh, I'm better.
I can run this shit better than you can with blindfolded.
Yeah, we'll see. So
yeah, no, I have faith in you. So wait, for the feature, are you so you're not shooting it until
February 28th is the first day of shooting.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. So it's in its infancy still.
In person prep. So
right.
Yeah, that's why I have to be here. I just be there with the director when they have questions, need things changed and all that jazz. So it's good. I guess this is like we're bonding. So like before we even shoot, we'll already like know each other, and it won't be a lot of like getting to know each other type stuff, which will be
wild production. Good. Yeah.
So,
no, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you? What's on your end?
Nothing much. I mean, besides the fact that like for whatever reason, we have the dumbest fucking garage door, and it just decided to not fully close in the middle of the night when my mom came home. So usually, like, we always like hit the garage door button and then we close the door and then walk in the house, and we just don't bother checking the garage door. But a couple of times, the garage door didn't fully close, and this happened like a few months ago. And we talked to our landlord about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no, it should be fine if it only happens when it was probably like the sensor issue." And then we realigned the sensor, and then everything was all good and gravy until literally last night, or no, sorry, 2 nights ago, when literally like a good pile of snow just decided to just come and just like fuck a lot of the boxes and all this stuff up in my garage. So it's just me literally cleaning that shit up. That's about it.
For people who are listening from other places, it's snowing in the South, which is really random.
Yeah, like as if we didn't learn our fucking lesson last year with Snowvid and shit like that. It's insane. You want to know something funny too? People tell me like, "Oh yeah, no, this is like Texans, mind you. This only happens like every 50, 100 plus years.
Twice in a row now."
And I have it twice in a row, and then it's just like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's not climate change. Clearly, I'm out of my mind, right?
Totally not.
Fucking unbelievable. So I just been dealing with that, and I watched a couple movies. I've been watching. I've been watching a shit ton of stuff, so we can get into some review shit.
Okay. I'm looking for things to watch. So what have you watched, sir?
So I just watched Guillermo del Toro's new movie, Nightmare Alley.
Was it good?
Holy shit, was it good? It was phenomenal. But here's the thing, though. Very sad. Very sad. I did not leave that movie feeling great. I didn't feel great, but it was fucking stunning. It was gorgeous. The story was captivating, and everything about it and how ominous it is, like sort of like Joker, how like every scene just sort of like intensifies a little bit, like kind of dials it up a little bit in terms of like the tensity with the main character and stuff, or at least in Nightmare Alley's case, it's like multiple main characters. And you see the tension and the emotions like racking up and shit like that, and building, and an ending that I had absolutely no clue was going to happen. And apparently I learned this like literally this morning. Apparently it's a remake. It was a movie that was made in 1947 with the same title, called Nightmare Alley. And it was like one of like, and it's a neo-noir, or a film noir, sorry. Even in the 40s, in the early 50s, which is crazy because it was one of it was like one of the first of like like the many like Humphrey Bogart type of crazy like investigation films, but this was like its first, and it's like presentation of how like showbiz can chew you up and spit you out, essentially. And that was kind of like the impetus. It's so much more deeper in Nightmare Alley, especially with what the story pertains. It's so much deeper. It's very good, but please, like, don't watch this at night before you go to bed. You will be so depressed. You'll just be really sad. You got to like watch it in the morning and then follow it up with, I don't know, fucking puppy videos or something. I don't know. Like you gotta follow it up with something. But this is like, I will say this is one of the best, but this is one of the darkest like Guillermo's gotten with his work, which is awesome. But equally like terrifying in a humanity sense of the story. It's very, very captivating. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Okay.
And then
totally watch it.
Yeah. No, totally. And
but just be prepared to be depressed.
Right. Are you a Guillermo del Toro fan?
Yeah. I really liked his Pan's Labyrinth a lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
that movie
that was beautiful. I wasn't as big of a fan of the last one.
Shape of Water?
The Oscars. Yeah, Shape of Water. I thought it was beautiful and everything.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, whoa. type thing.
captivated. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought obviously beautiful and stunning cinematically and stuff like that. But
It's also like the same like stunning visuals in Nightmare Alley too. For
I love
sure.
noir, so
Oh yeah.
so much of Ursula, a big inspiration was
Right.
neo-noir. So yeah, that's cool. I will definitely maybe see if we can watch it. Is it on it's on Amazon or
It's on HBO Max. Yeah.
I was on HBO whenever we have that. Yeah. I would
Yeah,
love to.
it's for free on HBO Max. I watched it yesterday afternoon ish. It was like I had a couple of minutes to spare, and it was like I was kind of tired and shit. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put on Nightmare Alley. Apparently, it's great and stuff. All right, let's just fucking try it out. And afterwards, I was like, fuck, I gotta watch like something else. And then I later that day, I watched two movies. Later that day, I definitely had a palate cleanse just completely from left field. And I went to the movie theater and watched Jackass Forever.
Yeah.
The new Jackass movie.
Why would you watch that?
What do you mean? It's amazing. I grew up watching
Is it?
Jackass. What are you talking about?
I never
Are you
actually
serious?
like it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I grew up watching Jackass since MTV,
Okay.
dude. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jackass. Yeah.
Oh my god. My sister and I remembered like after school we would like watch Jackass reruns, even like the same ones we watched so many times. It was like
Yeah.
part of like the syndicate for MTV. They wanted to do more shows and shit like that. So it was like
Yeah.
that show, and then I think Road Rules or something like that. Yeah, Road Rules.
Yeah.
Or like what was that one? It doesn't matter. Anyways, so that was playing, and then also like reruns of Jackass. So those episodes were rerunning, and then those episodes. So literally, like every time we come from school, we just watch Jackass, and then we watch the first movie together in theaters, the second one and the third one in like my sister and I together in theaters, and we love those movies so much. And this is the first one that my sister's
what is
halfway
it
around the world.
About Jackass that you like?
What do you mean? There's
Like,
nothing
is it
about
just
it that other than it is just a fucked up hilarious experience.
Okay, it's
It is
just
just it is just hilarious and fucked up. There's no listen, there's nothing about there's nothing cinematically pleasing about Jackass. Let's be clear, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't a cinematic fucking masterpiece that I can compare to with Nightmare Alley or Citizen Kane or any fucking movie for that matter.
Right.
It is a completely separate thing in of itself. So when I'm talking about Jackass, because like me, I love dumb shit just as much as you people like dumb shit. We all like dumb shit. You like soap operas, Christine. I know that. So
wait, what soap operas do I like? I don't like soap operas.
You like those holiday films. You like those
are soap operas.
They're very soapy. They're very soapy.
Not.
Come on.
No.
Give me a fucking break.
They're not
soapy.
Operas.
All I want for Christmas is you. Yeah, it's all that. It's all that.
Not soap. That doesn't mean that's
so you have your soapy Christmases. I have my full-grown old-ass adult men's crushing their nuts on a giant hand, slapping them into a pool. You know, I love that. I'm sorry, sue me. You know, it's the best, and also it's just like. Because like they have like old stunts that they kind of reminisce about and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, it's memories and shit like that of just, you know, Steve-O of how he lost his teeth and shit like that, you know, it's awesome. Yeah. So I watched those and
what else?
Nothing else. I want to think like, what did I see before that? Yeah, nothing. So I got a free trial subscription of this thing called the Criterion Channel. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
It's like a streaming app. So I got a 3-month free trial. Like that was emailed to me, and I was like, that was emailed to me like months ago, and I just completely forgot to redeem it, and it was like the last like few days before the coupon was going to expire or the trial was going to expire.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give this a go. And like there's just so many like crazy ass like international films that are like fascinating. There's like there's international like like noir films that happen in Russia, like Russian noir films and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm,
Like they have like
mm-hmm.
crazy like geographical subgenres like in the Criterion Channel app, and they
Yeah,
have like even American films too, but like a lot of like classic like American films. Not really much
yeah.
like recent. I think like the most recent American film was like Uncut Gems. Like that was the last like Criterion worthy like movie to be part of that collection and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a fun app. It's really cool. I don't know if anybody else wants to give it a go, but
Criterion.
it's fun. If you're
Yeah.
like a huge film person, give it a whirl. I mean, you know, if you love watching movies, if you love sitting on the couch and doing nothing like me, then you'll absolutely love the Criterion Channel app. I promise you. There's so many great movies on there that I didn't realize that
Yeah.
were like Criterion worthy that I've watched. Like I didn't know anything about like Jim Jarmusch like that as a director. Like I've heard the name
Mhm.
like circling around before, but I never like seen Ghost Dog or Cigarettes and Coffee or any of those like those films that film buffs are like, oh my god, you got to watch this. So
Yeah.
getting into that, and it's broadened my horizons for film knowledge. You know,
Yeah. No,
it's
I
fun.
need to get that. I know there's a lot of films on there that I need to, as a filmmaker, I should know them.
I mean, yeah, but there's plenty of amazing filmmakers that, I mean, have their own sensibility of how they go about their life and their experiences, and they still know how to make a film, even as opposed to somebody who watches movies nonstop, which is me. You still have your strengths, when it comes to
Yes.
filmmaking. So it doesn't really matter.
I
I'm
still
just saying it doesn't
sometimes know
matter.
what I'm doing. Yes.
Yeah.
Only sometimes. Yeah, no, I am right now I feel like I'm flying blind. Um we have I'm supposed to say that Ursley's coming out in June.
Right.
Video on demand. There's not an exact date yet.
All
Uh
right.
but now with a film that doesn't have like stars and stuff like that, most distributors won't give a crap about trying to do theatrical. So I think I am going to attempt to do self distribution for the theatrical aspect of it, or figure out how to do it. But doing like a limited release, even if it's just marketing and we make zero money from it, like I want people to be able to see it. And
Yeah.
so
And
so
experience
we're
that on the big screen too. That'd be
yeah,
truly
and I want to
something.
do events. So I know like in Shreveport, for example, I want to do something where like there's mermaids that are at the event, with
Hmm.
the screening. I think that'd be fun. I would love to do like a limited release for Alamo Draft House. And I wanted to I think Ursley is an event film. Like, you know,
I
like
agree. Yeah.
yeah, go with your family, popcorn type thing, and like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
summer, be outside and it's fun type thing. That's my gut feeling, and I feel like going with their gut is always a good thing. So I've been in deep, basically doing my research to see what like mermaid events and conventions are happening around the world, and seeing if there's a way to like partner up with them and stuff like that. So
Right. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so that's where my brain is at right now, is
You got
is
to update me on
mermaid.
that because I would love to see Ursley on a big screen. Any chance I can get to see
Yeah,
Ursley on a big screen, for sure.
exactly. So um hopefully it will be a limited release in somewhere in Austin, and there'll be like a screening and you'll be able to go see it. So that would be pretty darn cool.
I think so. Not to discredit, video on demand. Video on demand's great too, but
Yeah, but
it's just
there is something like just
there's a
to
communicative
be said.
experience that I love about
Yeah.
movies, especially
Yeah.
seeing it in a movie theater and like hearing like the gasping and the ahs and the oohs and the fucking hoorays and laughter and shit like that. You live for
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah. So, but
I'm excited, dude.
yeah, I'm excited too. This is a much, even though it's just as nerve wracking because it's but it's nerve-wracking because I don't know what I'm literally don't know what I'm doing. Um, but it's at least better than like raising money.
I think you know what you're doing, but you like to be humble
Okay,
and say
I
you
kind
don't.
of know what I'm doing, but it's more like I it hasn't been proven. I mean, I've done like limited screenings for free in a bar, and I've gotten people there. You know, gotten a good sizable amount of people there. So I guess it's like that, but like 50 times bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But you know, I still think it's a doable thing. I mean, how this story is made and stuff, and how it's carefully orchestrated all by you and carefully written and everything. Yeah, it feels like it's supposed to belong on a big screen, for sure. You know, and of course, you know, enjoying it in. I would love to like see it at home as well, but yeah, to see it on a big screen is a great. I love that.
Yes.
So there's something else I was going to ask you that I forgot, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yes, it
matter.
does. What were you gonna ask me?
No, I can't remember. That's the thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, just it was there, and then it was like, hang on,
And then
what?
it was
And
gone.
then my ADHD kicked in, just fucking evaporated right from my brain. Ah, so
Yeah. So
that's
what's
the end of the
new besides
podcast. I'm
that?
kidding.
That's it.
That's it. Uh, would you ask me what else is new? Nothing else
Yeah.
is new. I mean, yeah, we're still waiting on a
Absolutely
reschedule for
nothing.
the I mean, I'm okay. I'm finishing my script.
Okay.
Other than that, like I'm just still working on that. But
Okay.
yeah, no, I just other than that, I just been kind of like, you know, I'm trying to watch more movies as of recently
Mhm.
because I realized that like nothing better of inspiration comes from me writing as movies
As
does.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's watching.
Just simply watching movies has really helped. And going back and watching old movies that like I sort of like I never like so I watched Requiem for a Dream like
Oh, I can't
10.
watch that again. I can't. That
So
one's
here's the
just.
thing though, like I watched it when I was like 10 years old. So
Oh
like
my
I
god, you
watched it like
watched that when you were 10? Why?
yeah,
That's the worst.
my sister like hung out with pretty cool friends. What can I say? I watched that. I watched also like that's how I got into horror. Actually, was those
Uh-huh.
guys got me into like
That
you
is
know
not a kid's film. Like I was
it's
traumatized
not.
as an adult watching it, but it will make you not do drugs, so that's good. I guess maybe you kids should watch it.
I mean, it didn't. But yeah, it didn't. But I mean, yeah. Well, okay. Here's the thing. Like, I knew like the implications of the movie, but I didn't fully really understand the movie because I was like, you know, I was still in the, you know, I don't know. Like I didn't know what I was thinking when I was 10 years old because I only remember like fragments of the movie and stuff like that because I've only seen it once.
Sure.
So I've only seen like, you know, I've only remembered bits and pieces and stuff. And then I watched it, I want to say a week ago. Hang on. No,
Okay.
it was the day before you came to my house. Yeah, it was the day before. So I rented it. It was on my Apple TV recommendations and it was like for like 50 cents to rent and shit. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay, fuck it. Who cares? It's 50 cents. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So I rented it and, you know, sort of like Nightmare Alley. I didn't feel good after the movie for sure. But
I felt awful after watching that movie.
yeah,
Like
no, you don't feel great.
awful.
You don't.
Yeah, like I hated the world. I felt like world people suck, and I just felt like humanity sucked, and just it made me feel awful. Like that ending
Yeah,
scene and how it just like
yeah. How
I
it? Oh
can't
yeah,
I cannot watch that film. It just made me feel awful.
yeah.
So I'm surprised that like you are watching that. I mean, it's a cinematic masterpiece for
That I
sure.
watched it at a young age. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I also watched There Will Be Blood, like when I was in like
See,
when I was
There Will Be
14,
Blood
15.
is like on a is totally
Is it
like
a completely different level? Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. But like, yeah, those movies, yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember the circumstance and how I watched that movie. Like I think it was like from a Blockbuster rental and we just watched it at my house, and I think it was like my sister and her friends, and then I decided to just tag along and watch it with them and shit. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Fuck it. And it turned out I was like, what the fuck is this? And I don't get it. And I don't really feel good. I'm gonna go read some Captain America comic books. I'll see you losers later. And I just went upstairs and just, fuck off to comic book land, where things are just simpler, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to even still challenge me that the Marvel Cinematic Universe are hack cinema, like we talked about last week, that Scorsese fucking shots fired at the. I'll fucking fight anybody who wants to challenge me on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anyways, but yeah, dude. So yeah, no, I know. I just love it when because I see it on Twitter too. Like I see a lot of people like be weird fucking stands for Martin Scorsese and just like, just let a fucking opinion really die on a hill, like as if like any Marvel fan could give a fuck. But like somebody like me who loves Martin Scorsese and loves Marvel films sort of like kind of hit me the wrong way for like all these Martin Scorsese fans to speak on behalf of him and just be like, yeah, you fucking Marvel fans don't know what good movies are. It's just like, go fuck yourself. You like what good movies are. By the way, not every single Martin Scorsese film is a fucking like hit. It's they're not. And if you want to argue with that, that's fine. Whatever, but the facts are there. So it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But it is hilarious seeing some of these people on the internet just go fucking wild on these like Marvel fans that literally like just enjoy the films as like I talked about it last week. It's a awesome hero's journey, and people can relate to this shit. I don't know, and people have experiences with these comic books like I have growing up and shit like that. So. When those comic books have an impact on you, you sort of put that heavy emotional baggage along with seeing that movie. So, it means a lot to me than it is probably to you, Christine. I'm sure you like the Marvel films too, but like, there's, I mean, all of them. Like, I love that. Well, maybe a couple. There's, I at least favorable, but for the most part, they're all fucking amazing, and they hit the beats that I would have wanted growing up reading these comic books, seeing them as movies.
It's entertainment, right? So like,
yeah.
I mean, sure, maybe it's not super deep, like, I don't know what people are expecting, but you go in, you're not supposed to go into a Marvel film expecting like a world issue to be presented in it, so like it's like a different kind of film that I don't know why Scorsese is comparing it to, like, I don't, Criterion Collection or something. That's
right.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, you're right. You're playing on completely different hemispheres with some of these movies. Like they're completely ideologically and literally and figuratively different than any film Martin Scorsese has done. But I mean, like we don't have to take too long with this topic, because it was just one of those things where I just found interesting that it doesn't quite really make sense in the grand scheme of things to get angry about. But sure enough, there are enough angry people out there that are gonna die on a hill with that opinion. Which, let me tell you, hats off to you, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. I'm proud of you. No, I am. They they're like, never mind. I was going to compare it to politics, but I fucking know politics. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go there. Yeah. I don't know politics, ladies and gentlemen. What do I fucking know? There was, speaking of comic books, I've also gone back into comic books. Have I told you about this?
A little bit.
Yeah, this was like a few months ago. I talked about this, but like, yeah, I'm still heavy into comic books. Like, I have a Comixology app. Apparently, it's free through Amazon Prime. I learned that, and apparently, like when you sign up for Comixology through your Amazon Prime account, you get like hundreds and thousands of fucking comic books that are just free, just for you to fucking read and shit. I'm just like, are you fucking serious? I just been sitting on a gold mine this entire time and nobody fucking told me, the shit. So I got heavy back into Batman. Holy shit. And I forgot how fucking awesome Batman is, because I read the have you heard of this artist and writer called Frank Miller? He made Sin City.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he made the comic books of Sin City. Robert Rodriguez did the movies and stuff.
Yes, but I know. But he was heavily involved in the film too, right?
Yeah, very involved. Oh yeah, he was there from beginning to end, because that's why it looks like as if Robert Rodriguez like copy and pasted the fucking comic books right into fucking movie format, which is nuts. It's literally panel by panel each of those comic books. Like,
that's why I thought, it's very comic book like.
Yeah, and the color scheme was exactly the same, like with the red blood, and it's black and white, and you see like the fucking gross ass like yellow alien.
Sin City, like the way they did it. I don't know. I just thought it was.
So you might actually like the comic book. Do you have Amazon Prime?
I do.
It's download Comixology and link your Amazon account, and you can read Sin City like today.
Okay.
It's awesome. I love the comic books. It's dark for sure, but I mean, it's Sin City.
I don't think I've ever really read a comic book, except the only comic thing I've ever.
And it's never too late, Christine.
Only thing I've ever is like, in the newspaper, like Peanuts and stuff. I used to read those.
Jesus Christ. What are you, a dork? What?
What am I, a dork? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm kidding. I'm playing. I'm playing. I don't mean to make fun of you, but yeah, I mean, if you enjoy if you enjoy the Archie section of the newspaper, good for you. Next to the crosswords and shit, right? Jesus. Jesus. I'm kidding. I'm playing.
No.
Everybody, my love of comic books come from kind of like a deep personal thing. Well, not that personal. It was hard for me to read growing up. So for me, it was hard for me to reading comprehension was the worst, because I would read the words, but nothing would come into my head. Like nothing would come into my mind. So therefore I'm overthinking, and I'm not letting like the words just kind of speak for itself and shit like that. Okay. Comic books helped me with that reading comprehension of just like understanding in the connection between the pictures and what they're saying in the text bubbles and whatnot. It just helps me engage the words just a little bit easier. After I read a comic book, I can read a novel, or whatever. So growing up, I've always read comic books. And, if I'm reading like a novel from school or something, it's usually like, I hate those school books that I have to fucking read. Right. And then so to offset that, I would bring comic books, or I would rent comic books from the library and stuff like that. And it was cool because like there was not my high school, but my middle school had like a whole comic book section like in their library. And I literally ransacked their fucking comic book section. I was a dork and just fucking hung out in those aisles literally every day. Like I'm just there, just like looking at comic books and then like checking out like 3 or 4 at a time. And like, no, it was like, there was like a limit of like 2 books you could check out at the time, I think, like in high school. It was like different with certain, but it doesn't matter. But basically like I had it in with the librarian, and I was like, hey dude, like we're chilling. Like I'd give you snacks. I'll do whatever I got to do. If you could just let me like rent, like, or borrow like 2 more copies of comic books. Yeah. And they allowed me. They're like, yeah, go ahead. As long as you return them and stuff. And I returned every single one of them. So I, enjoyed comic books as much as I would enjoy any other book. But I think I enjoy comic books a little more just because like I appreciate the artistic factor and like how my thought process is usually like how I think about frames looks like a comic book.
Okay.
Like every time I'm writing something, like especially like going through the script, like I'm reading it like a comic book in a way, but it's still
you
framed.
go through life like it's a comic.
Listen, and it's so much easier that way.
I'm not hating. That's cool. That's cool to think that way. I mean, like, I guess when I think about it, I
could be insane. I could be out of my fucking mind.
I think when I
what happened? Is your power out?
I lost light. Like light.
Oh,
outside,
gotcha. Gotcha.
That's why I went, yeah. So,
for some reason, I was like, wait, what?
Getting darker and darker. No, it's I will when they describe events or funny things and stuff, I automatically think of scenes as well. So I guess it's kind of similar to that a little bit.
Well, I get that from everything, really, but how I frame it in my mind looks like a comic book in a way. So like I can maybe draw it, but it won't be as good as I want it to be. But I think I can get the idea out. I think I can like get that idea just out, and then it doesn't need to be perfect as long as you can understand what is being interpreted there and stuff like that. And also like I grew up watching anime as well, and I read those graphic novels as well, which are called mangas or mangas, as people call them, but I call them mangas because it sounds proper that way. I don't know, it may be cooler, I don't know, it might be the wrong way of saying it, but somebody I know is going to school me at some point. So I read those a lot. My sister also read them, and she was the one who got me into that, really. Like, but other than that, comic books has just been my complete definition of my reading material and my like almost education in life as I grew up and stuff like that.
That's cool.
You learn a lot from comic books. Like, I mean, I've learned about humanity and like how not every person anybody can be a deceiver. You just got to keep your wits about you and understand you got to trust yourself and trust yourself in others who believe in that trust and stuff like that through like comic books like Batman and shit like that. You learn a lot from these, but people still say comics for babies, right? It's like totally is.
I think
let me give you a copy of Sin City and still tell me it's for babies.
Well, I think there's like a thing where that's why I think I love like Pixar and Disney, and
love Pixar.
I think there's a way where people are more accepting of like maybe controversial or adult concepts, but when it's presented in a simple and non-intrusive and when it doesn't feel like it's live action, I think people are more willing to think outside the box and see it from being outside the box, right? So you can actually delve into really triggering issues without immediately triggering people.
I don't know. It was fucking triggering in the first 5 minutes of Up. Have you seen that shit? Holy fucking God.
Yeah.
Up
was great.
Ripped my fucking heart and stomped on it and stared at me with a smile on its face. The first 5 minutes of that fucking movie. It hurt. It really hurt. Oh my God. Oh, dude, it was so heartbreaking. It was just like I never seen that from a Pixar film because it came from fucking Cars 3, and then after Cars 3, we get Up, I think, and that's such a weird fucking 180, dude. It was just like, you remember Up? Have you seen it?
I remember Up. Yeah, it was beautiful film.
It was just a man's life and his passion for love and his significant other, and then the significant other was then gone. It was just like, oh, what the fuck? I'm not ready for that shit. What the fuck? And then it was like,
very, very, very beautiful film. Yes.
Metal as fuck though. Holy shit.
Yeah. No, that was, I remember that. But that's like an adult
But I get what you're
issue,
saying
right?
though.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
like Zootopia, right? Zootopia was really about race issues.
Right. That's true.
But
In a very subtle way.
In a very subtle way, but it's hidden in like between the rabbits and it's a very subtle, but like just because it's in a non-threatening medium per se, people are more likely to like watch it and then be like, oh, did I learn something?
Right.
Oh, instead of I think we're so conditioned to react first before we have even a chance to like sit and process that information. And I think when we don't see immediately that this film or whatever is trying to teach us something, we relax and we don't immediately jump to reacting, right? So like I don't know if it's just because we're triggered by social media or the news or whatnot, but like, if you immediately see some political issue, somebody who looks mildly political on TV saying something that seems like it's going to be controversial, you immediately, your brain goes to like, I'm going to fight about whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it's like, oh, cute, I don't know, comics and animals and stuff like that, you're like, okay, like it's
this
cool,
is fine.
it's non-threatening, we're totally cool, even though it's like very much about
the problems we face today.
Exactly. The same exact problems that we face.
And part of that problem is I do believe that sloths do run the DMV. I do still believe that.
I love that scene.
I do
so much.
Those people are the slowest motherfuckers on the planet, and they depict that perfectly. Perfectly.
Brilliant. Yeah. I laughed so hard.
Dude.
That happened.
Yeah.
I was like, this is brilliant.
So good. It was so good. And like how they drew out that fucking scene like taffy, dude. It was just like, oh, dude, it kills me. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a brilliant
very good.
Yeah.
And you'll get to witness that, especially in Los Angeles, how the DMV is an absolute atrocity. It is an absolute, it should be, it goes without saying that it is this probably the seventh circle of hell is the Los Angeles Department of Motor Vehicles.
I feel like that's just having experience just trying to get my car fixed in Los Angeles was already horrendous.
A crisis. Yeah.
And so I can't imagine anything else. I think it's just that they're inundated with people. There's so many people, and
there's way too many people,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And there's not enough DMVs, clearly, but there's also not enough payroll to pay for another DMV either.
Right. So.
So everybody's at a mute point, and everyone's like, "This fucking sucks." It's like, yeah, we do. We all have to wait 7.5 hours for the shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I think it's interesting.
I think so too. And I think a lot of movies do depict that. And I think you're right. I think like anything you can watch, any piece of medium you can watch, even music too, you can get a message from it. You can extract something from it. Unless like there isn't anything to fucking extract, which is 90% of what TikTok is. But other than that, there is a message you can probably pull from, any kind of medium if you put your passion and mind to it, not to discredit the TikTokers. I'm sure you put lots of production time and work into crafting those TikToks.
No.
It's not my place to say. Don't come at me, TikTokers. How dare you? But I do think though that, that I don't know, like I get so weird when people are like, those movies or the comic books or soap operas are for fucking babies or whatever. It's like for people who just don't care. It's like, No, it's not that. People just have their own taste, of course, at the end of the day. But also, you got to recognize that if enough people enjoy one specific thing, which, by the way, Netflix has all the numbers on how many people enjoy specific fucking things, they understand where the money is going to go to. And if that money is going to go to hokey ass fucking holiday films, they're going to produce hokey ass holiday films. It is what it is.
Because there's a proven market. And when there's a proven market, that means a proven income stream, which means people are going to make their money and make their money back, which is why this happens. Why hokey? I mean, I'm guilty for it.
Yeah.
I watch Hallmark films because I know what to expect, and sometimes I don't want to think, and sometimes
sort of Marvel in a way, sort of like that as well.
Yeah,
you sort of understand where you're going to get yourself into if you understand the hero that is being depicted. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I believe that.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, a lot of Marvel films will probably fucking want to kick my ass for saying that kind of garbage, but I listen. There's everything can coexist. It's a matter of what your perspective is in that moment, I guess. Whatever. It feels silly to just argue the fact that it's just like, yeah, but the movies I watch are intellectual. It makes you think. It makes you ponder humanity. It's like, do you want to deal with that for the rest of your life? I kind of chalk those people up like with the CNN people. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of dedicate the news to the rest of their fucking existence. And they just have to like constantly spout out how much like information they know. And like, it's a mind flex for anybody to just like kind of whip some fucking knowledge right at your feet that you probably don't even know, but also ultimately don't care because it's not what your thing is. But these people are passionate. We're passionate about movies. But I think those people who are also passionate about movies don't really have like a, I don't know, like they don't have that sense of like ego that they know they know movies better than normal people do. You know what I mean? When there's plenty of normal people that can give you a movie recommendation that you have no idea what it's about, but can easily rock your world. And I've been easily that person many times. Somebody just recommends me a movie who don't even like movies or barely watch movies, recommend movies to me that are just like, wait a second, you watch this? What the fuck? This is awesome. I never even seen this before. Sometimes people just blow my mind, but yeah, I don't know where my point was going to go other than the fact that like people need to have a bigger perspective on movies. And I feel like you can
it's
really
all about taste and preference in the end. I mean,
but try it out. But try it out. It's just like food. It's just like, try it out. If you never tried sushi before, try it out. You might fucking surprise yourself. You might, and then people who are like, I would never eat McDonald's. That garbage is nonsense. It's like, yeah, but have you bit into a Big Mac though? Have you ever bit into a Big Mac? Yes or no? And if it's a no, then how do you know?
Yeah.
I would never eat Taco Bell ever in my life. It's like, yeah, but have you had a Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell? Have you? Just answer that question. And listen, there's so many people who want to argue with me that Taco Bell's garbage. Have you ate a Crunchwrap? No, I have not. Well, you haven't experienced Taco Bell, my friend. And it is what it is. It's fine. It's okay. But you can't tell me that something is better than the other if you haven't even experienced both, dummy. Why are we having this argument in the first place? I'm not going to go to a 3 Michelin star fucking restaurant tomorrow. I'm not fooling anybody. We don't live in France. Shut up. And I'm probably, French people probably do have Taco Bell there. Who knows? I would love to think.
In conclusion, let's not be judgy.
Yeah, just don't be judgy.
And try everything.
Be the fresh perspective of Bel Air.
Yeah, it's all taste.
It's all taste.
We're in this. It's funny because it's kind of a nice segue to. I think a lot of filmmakers right now are submitting to film festivals, and it's like the most depressing time.
It's the winter time. Shit, yeah.
It's the worst. It's the
Yeah,
worst
yeah.
because it's basically you just submit to like, I mean, like hundreds some film festivals, and you're maybe gonna get into like 2% of it,
Right.
you know. And it's that whole. I, there's so many factors that go into film festivals. It's like making your playlist, right? So you might have a song that's awesome, but it doesn't fit the flow of the playlist, right? And then you like say that song can't get into your playlist, and then that person who made that song is going to be super depressed because they're just going to think that their song was bad when in fact their song was probably great.
Has
It just
to,
didn't
yeah,
fit the theme and flow of the playlist.
match the vibe of the
That's the
festival.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and I had like a kind of just I read in Jacob and Goliath, I think was the book by Malcolm Gladwell, but it's
Wow.
about
Holy shit, you read that?
Wow. It was about
You're so sophisticated. I'm a dummy, dude. Holy shit, I never read no fucking Goliath and shit.
Shut up.
The fuck?
The idea is that the impressionism wouldn't have happened if the guys who did impressionism didn't curate their own art gallery.
Wow.
Because they had been trying to submit to the
right.
people who let you into the Louvre or not, basically.
But your voice is not heard.
Artists have like apparently committed suicide because they like couldn't make it into, because apparently getting into the Louvre would make or break your career, essentially. Like if you didn't get into it, then the people in the world would be like, your art must suck. Therefore, you couldn't get into this one exclusive gallery showing, right? And so what happened was the impressionistic people were like, fuck this. They just don't understand what we're doing. And then they created their own like gallery showing and invited all the people, created a shit ton of buzz, and everybody was like, this is genius. And then the critics were like, why are people paying attention to this little tiny like thing? And then they go and they're like, well, if everybody says it's cool, then it must be cool.
Then it must be right.
And then they created their own way and then started this whole thing of impressionism. But what does that teach us is that like we're so conditioned to go through these gatekeeping processes that we fail often to stand outside the zone and be like, that's just one way for people
right
to see your film, and that's just one way for people to give a shit about your film. And we let that define how good or bad we are as creators, as artists, as filmmakers, when in fact those were all measures of success that somebody, some dude, some committee that's human created. And who is to say that that committee stands for the taste of the entire world of cinema, right? So, I mean, if you think about it, like, did Steven Spielberg ever, like, any of his films go to, like, a film festival prior, you know? Like, did Jaws win South by Southwest? Like,
Universal barely trusted him with Jaws.
Yeah. So
there's no film festival for Steven.
To, like, approach this whole thing is like, okay, you know, yes, I've submitted to film festivals. No, we didn't get to South by Southwest, which blows. We didn't get into Slam Dance or Sundance, which also blows. But I'm like, well, world, let's see what will happen if we create our own, like, kind of like what Thunder Road. To be fair, Thunder Road did win South by Southwest, but you know, they also bypassed the distributors and self-distributed it themselves. And so I'm like, I feel like there's enough people in the world that likes mermaids and women content and fun adult Goonies films. So why couldn't it be successful if I did a short, limited, screening, theatrical screening. I don't know. It's a risk. It's scary and all that stuff, but like you just gotta sometimes think outside the box.
And sometimes you got to take those risks as well. And I
Yeah.
think that's a great risk to take, even if the payoff isn't what you think it is. I
Right.
still think it can still pay off. Like,
Right.
I don't know. You're right. There's enough people who can give a shit about a story that is Ursula, especially with how
Yeah.
much we talked about it.
So,
I mean,
that's my hope. That's my hope. But
I have big hopes for that. 100%. Yeah. And also, like, I don't know how I feel about those other film festivals. You know what I mean? Like, I like, not because it's like, oh, because, there's only so many movies I can go in. It's not just that. It's just it's what you said. It's the idea of gatekeeping. It's just the idea of just like, hey man, if you want to make it, you got to go to here. You got to go here.
Yeah.
And if you don't go here, well then just leave the industry and just never come back.
Stupid. Which
doesn't make any fucking sense. Like we're kind of
doesn't.
working backwards here when it comes to filmmaking. Because why? Because there's just distribution with sound. No, there isn't. Is there? Are you going to make money from it? No, you don't. It's just like it's all for exposure. It's just like
Right.
I don't know. It's just it doesn't quite make sense. It's like the people who rather watch short form videos like on YouTube rather than watch like, full length videos on YouTube. That's why there's YouTube shorts and shit like that. There's no monetary gain for any of this shit. None whatsoever. So really, when you're going into it, you're really going into for strictly like to get higher and higher into the food chain of eyes on your thing. But
right,
that's all you need are eyes on your product. So there's so many ways of going about it. I just feel like I feel like going that route is just like, yeah, you're right. That's one way. But if you just put your fucking mind to it, I just feel like there's so many other avenues we can explore that, even if you're taking a risk going to South by. You're taking a risk doing that anyways. So why won't you already take the risk to just get your stuff out there? Like you said, like build the fucking gallery yourself. It's a bunch of fucking people that said, we're going to build something here. And it's the thing. And it's like, okay, great. And then we're going
to, we believe in it. I believe in it. So I I don't know. It's just crazy that it's just for those of you going into the film festival circuit right now,
God bless you.
Time, but I think that's what we all need to, if you truly believe in your film and everything, just know that there's other venues to get. I mean, if you
it's
think
not
about
the
it,
end.
What's the purpose of a film festival? Obviously there are if you really dissect it, it's so that films can be seen in a theater, but for the lowest economic cost. Because if we group a bunch of films together, that means more people can come, and we don't have to. We hedge our, we hedge our bets more, because now it's 5 films or 10 films being shown, where we book out a theater for $500, but that means like there's potential of more people who are going to come and fill the seats, right?
Exactly.
So so that's a lower versus one film that books out a theater for $500 or whatever it costs for the theater.
Right.
That's pretty risky, right? So you're hedging your risk by having a festival, by screening multiple films together. And yes, some of these gain traction, and critics love them, or gatekeepers go in and say these if you win these things, then you're great and stuff like that. But in the end, these are man-made standards. Sure, if you are able to get into Harvard, there's a higher chance that you are legitimately a smart human being but does that guarantee that you're going to succeed more than somebody who didn't go to Harvard, right? So it's just kind of,
Right. It's all a matter of perspective.
yes.
And also like it's not the end either, you know. It's kind of like everything has its ups and downs, and because one avenue just didn't fucking quite work out for you, you can go on to the next, and then if that doesn't work out, then to the next and repeat, you know. I feel like I think you're right. I think it's just you just gotta understand you can make it worth your while for getting eyes on screens if you just keep focusing on that rather than just focus on, well, if these 15 film festivals don't work out,
then
I'm screwed.
Here's plan C. Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. It's like, why would you make that your end game?
Yeah.
And then your film just doesn't see the light of day? What? Like, why? It makes no sense.
No.
And I feel like that happens so much too. Like, how many films have just like, I mean, I'm sure they gotten probably like some of them gotten some sort of distribution in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's like through crowdfunding, whatever it is. And for that, that's awesome. But I can just only imagine like the people who didn't have the, and also too, like the internet has gotten so much better now in terms of distribution, and everybody can access certain apps for free. And like you can sign up for YouTube for free, and it's accessible to so many people. But 10 years ago, it wasn't. 10 years ago, or no, 15 years ago, it was just still in its infancy, right? Like I think like YouTube was like, it's still fairly new, kind of, I guess. But also like, there was not much access back then. So how many of those films have just never made it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. They just vanish. Yeah. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how many films. There probably some of them are good. It's just like you said, it just didn't fit the fucking playlist. It just didn't fit the orchestra of it all.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it, but also not really. You know what I mean? It's just like you're gatekeeping these certain amount of fucking films, yet I understand you can't accept all the fucking films,
right?
Because
it is really depressing to think that, though.
Yeah.
Like, that some people have given up on filmmaking because of that, you know.
Which, you know, and that's so unfortunate. You know, because there's so much, I don't know, there's so much to gain when it comes to, you know, just letting a film just sort of like, even if it's like, because
I get it though, it is depressing. Like
the only people I would worry about when it comes to like monetary value is paying the people who worked on that said film. But if I'm like the director or the producer, I would just want as many eyes as I possibly can. Not saying that I would just like fucking put it on YouTube and say, call it a day. I mean, I would have to try and shit and do my best to just, you know, see where I can, you know, get a distribution from and shit like that. But also doing it yourself is going to probably be worth more while. And what if it does work? If it works, you could be making bank, bro. You could be making bank.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't cutting no one in that shit. It's just you know?
Yeah, we'll see. Well, this is all a nice learning.
It's all a learning
experiment.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We'll see how it goes. I'm
excited.
There'll be fun. There'll be a string of, I think the next few will be like me navigating distribution in the theatrical world.
Yeah. And how wild it is too. Like just in the theatrical world, it's like, especially in a world that like, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't want to, I hate saying that movie theaters like aren't the same because I sound fucking old. It sounds like a novelty thing to say like, yeah, there's not many people in movie theaters anymore. Of course, there's not many fucking people in the movie theaters anymore because all you have to do is wait literally less than a month, and it's already in home video, or it's already in streaming or whatever,
Yeah.
So the convenience is there for streaming and at home viewing more than going to the theater. There's a little more, and also theaters are getting expensive too.
Yeah.
They're really fucking expensive, and I can understand, because growing up, I remembered like I couldn't see a movie because like a movie ticket was just $12 at the time, like when I was growing up and shit. And I can't even imagine how much it is now, especially at that same movie theater, So I don't know. I feel like there's all sorts of sides to this, and I think one way or the other, people are going to enjoy what you have. There's so many people out there. You're bound to make some sort of success. I feel it, I see it, and I know it.
I hope so. I mean, I like it, and so many people who will watch it have been like, "This is really cool," and so
it is cool. I love it. I even in the roughest form that I've seen it, it was still like, fuck, we did that. It's so fucking rad. I love it. Yes. So I know, I understand I'm a biased fucking audience for sure, but I don't know. Even if I came from the outside, I still think the story fucking rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. How long have we gone?
I think we're about there.
What's there? Have we done an hour?
An hour.
Have we done more than an hour? Fuck, it feels like we've done like 3 hours. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we also spent an hour and a half figuring out how to get ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. Good
it's
God.
Okay. That
All right.
fault.
No, it's our fault. It's fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Get Reelisms podcast. Get on getreelisms.com today and pick up your book, pick up your poster, your shirts, everything. getreelisms.com, please and thank you. And all the previous episodes of this podcast are on ursleyfilm.com, along with your favorite streaming platforms. Speaking of streaming, and if you think we're making any money from this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, it's a free podcast, so make up the conclusion for yourselves. We ain't making shit. So we do this because we fucking love it, and we love talking to each other, and I love doing this with you, Christine. So this is an absolute fucking treat. And to that, I hope we will see you guys next week when we do another episode. And let's see, is that it? I think that's it. So yeah, is this it, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know.
That's it.
And that's it. That's all, folks. Yeah, next week tune in, and hopefully we'll have more juicy Ursley news. And yeah, we'll see you then, everybody. Goodbye. I'm leaving because I have to pee actually really bad. Yeah. So goodbye, everybody.